Hey guys, welcome to Goku of Light One Piece stream, and today we'll pretty much just be discussing chapter 796. I'm gonna let Boris introduce himself real quick. I gotta do something real quick. 1 second.
Sure, go ahead. What's up, guys? Boris here, Boris Anime. It's doing like a spontaneous One Piece stream. I haven't done a One Piece stream in a while on YouTube, so yeah, we're just gonna talk. About anything, I guess, for One Piece. Now, Goku Light has to go to see Dragon Ball Z Revival of F or Resurrection F, right? So I don't know how long the stream's gonna be. Like what, an hour?
To an hour at the most.
An hour. Right,
yeah.
Cool.
So essentially, I haven't really just been doing discussions much. Just about anybody that's subbed to my channel. I know that you were pretty much here for either discussions or theories. I uploaded a theory for you guys, the Killer Theory. So you guys let me know if you enjoy that one. I'll be sure to upload another one this Thursday. And I'm going to start uploading theories every Thursday. And then just let me know what you guys think of them once a week. My channel will be introducing a lot of new weekly series. And then I'll also have a new thing called monthly series. The very first one will be when anime and gaming collide. And from there, we'll have a special guest, Shook One, from the Halo 2 pro scene. And we'll also have a reviewer. And I'm going to put a couple people up there and have like a reviewer's choice. And it'll probably be between someone like Zoro Fanboy or Blaze Anime or Boris or just a few different popular people. And then I'll just let people vote. And then we'll have a mixture of the videos. And we're also going to have skits in there. It'll be a lot different of an experience. I'll let you check it out before I get too much into that. But anyways, just focusing on what we have planned today. As far as 796, now I feel like it was a really good chapter for the situation we were in, because for me personally, every time that I have like a really hype chapter, like for example what happened with Kaido, the next chapter absolutely sucks. Or that's how it usually is for me. Like I don't.
Yeah, that's the typical pattern.
Yeah. And this one actually didn't do that. Going into the next chapter, we still got some valid information, and we finally got out of this house. And I'm just real interested to see kind of how it plays out, because I know there was a few different translations, like as far as like King Riku saying like Rebecca was going to be the queen and stuff like that. And then another one, I think he says something else on the. I have only read the one where he said she was going to be queen, but I know there's another translation. Have you read the other one, Boris? Do you know by chance what the other one says?
Wait, are you talking about wasn't that 795?
Or it might have been. Yeah, I think it was 795. I apologize. 795. Yeah, where he's talking about her being queen.
Yeah, it was princess.
Oh, okay. So yeah, stuff with that, because I'm real interested. I want to see Kiros. I think he was one of my favorite characters going out of Dressrosa, and I kind of want to see how his story plays out. If he's gonna become the king, or if he really is just gonna play this whole like emo card that he's not good enough, or how that all kind of plays out. Real curious with that. Also, on top of that, just to see how everything plays out with Kaido and the alliance in front of him. Like, are they just gonna get fucking wrecked right now? Like, do they really just gotta get just destroyed, or is he just going to look at them and walk away because they're not worth his time? Or like, how does that really play out in your mind? How do you see that playing out? Do you have any opinions on that, Boris?
I don't know. It's very interesting. I don't know. Like everyone, the one thing I'm really surprised about is how everyone started thinking that Rebecca's going to join the crew after this chapter. I have no clue why people think that. I really don't. Everyone's thinking about it. So I don't know. What do you think? Why do you think people keep saying that they think Rebecca's going to join the crew now?
I think it's just a thing that people really want more than it is like logical. Because in my opinion, she doesn't really make sense to be the one to join the crew. From the last chapter that I was reading, like I think it was. It might have been 795 or 796. I honestly can't remember. I read both. I read in 796 like when it first came out, so it's been like 3 or 4 days. But I remember seeing when Luffy was waking up, he was talking to, I believe it was Bellamy. I thought that was kind of weird. I'm kind of curious to see where Bellamy goes, even if it's temporary. Is he going to be running with the Straw Hat Pirates until he finds somewhere else to go? Like, what's going to happen with him? I see him going on the ship.
Yeah, he actually. Oh, no, sorry, my friends showed me some cool pictures from a Gundam convention that he went to.
Mm-hmm.
But what's it called? Bellamy's. I think he has the best chance of joining the crew at this point out of anyone. People really don't want him to join. I think it'd be cool for him to join. He has all the attributes pretty much. Like he's not experienced, so it's not like he's going to spoil a lot about the new world. He has a cool devil fruit. He I don't know. I feel I'm not saying I want him to join, but I think that it would be cool so that we learn a bit more about what happened in Skypiea. It would have that connection there. Otherwise, no reason really to go back there. But I think that with Bellamy joining, it might you might get some of the secrets unlocked to Skypiea. Now that I'm thinking about it, though, I don't know if I want him to join. I don't see if he actually is a good candidate. But I don't know, man. I Bellamy is one of those guys that, you know how Oda's quote, one of Oda's favorite quotes is like, if anytime people down talk one of the villains, he feels like inclined to make them stronger just to piss the people off. So he said that, right? So Bellamy is probably the villain that gets the most crap, right? For being like the weakest. I feel like if that's true, Oda might make him like join the crew just to spite people, you know.
Exactly. It makes so much sense. Like in my head, it's like I don't want him to be the next Straw Hat, but it makes sense. Like it really does. And like, in my opinion, with some training, he could be like an asset to the crew. He's strong. You know.
Oh yeah, he's. I mean, I think he's strong if he can figure out how to use hockey. I don't know if he knows how to use hockey. Maybe he does know how to use. I can't remember. But if you can learn how to use hockey, learns just a couple things from the Straw Hats, you can become a force, man. I mean, the one negative thing is he got wrecked by Dillinger. Again, we don't know the circumstances of that. We don't know the circumstances, but it just, if it wasn't for that, I would highly think he'd join the crew.
I think after Kobe, we kind of know that anybody can transform. You know what I mean? Like Kobe started off like this like scrawny little kid, just found on the first episode, and now people talk about how one day he might be an admiral and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if anybody can make that much of a transformation, I feel like Bellamy can too. And I think the thing that would be really cool to see with him would just see the development, because everything that he had prior, like he was pretty much just like on Doflamingo's dick. Like he was Doflamingo's boy. Like Doflamingo was disrespecting him, and he was just like, it's okay. Like he was just accepting it, crying and stuff. It was just out of control.
I mean, we talk about all the parallels between Dressrosa and Alabasta. Yeah. And at the end of Alabasta, who do we get? We got a person who owed their life to Luffy, right? They didn't want to live anymore, but Luffy saved her, and she owed her life to him. We got the same situation here, where it's a character who doesn't want to live anymore. Luffy saves them, and now they sort of feel indebted to Luffy. So there's a lot of parallels, obviously between Dressrosa. We've talked about this for the past 2 years. And that definitely could be one that Oda wants to play around with. So that's why I do think out of all the characters, like I said, I think he's the best to join the crew. I would love, if I could pick, I would love Law to join the crew, like permanently, to be an actual like Straw Hat. But again, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's what I want, because Law's like my favorite character. So.
He's pretty dope, but I feel like he's too independent or too big of a character.
The main problem is he has his own crew. So,
yeah,
that's his main argument. Bellamy doesn't have a crew now, so I'm sure like the rest of his crew's either fodder by now or they they got wrecked somewhere. We've only seen Bellamy by himself, so Bartolomeo has a crew. Viola is the other one people keep thinking about, but after this chapter, seeing her, accepted back pretty much, I don't see her joining the crew at this point, which everyone really wanted to pursue. So. Yo, Recon, what's up, man?
What's good, man?
Yo, Recon, dude. It's been a long time.
For real.
Yeah, man. I've been busy, dude. But I should have a lot more free time soon. So.
Hey, let's go. I feel you, man. I've been busy playing Metal Gear. I'm trying to catch up before Phantom Pain
really
comes
nice.
up. Yeah.
Are you gonna pick up Pirate Warriors 3?
Oh hell yeah! Right? Got to pre-order and everything. Can't wait to play Sabo.
That's what I'm excited for right now, man. Sabo, dude. I guess I didn't play the second one, so I'm looking forward to that. Yo, Goku, you gonna pick up Pirate Warriors 3?
Oh yeah, for sure. I have it already pre-ordered on Steam, but I need to get a PS4 if I plan to do it. It's like, because I already have J-Star, and it's like I already bought one PS4 game, and I don't even own a PS4, so I don't know if I should just keep doing that. That feels weird, just like buying PS4 games and I don't have a system.
I'm not sure if I told you right, but the port was made by the same guys who ported over Arkham Knight. What's this? Arkham Knight. So, and you know what happened with that, right?
Yeah,
we port. I think like after 3 or 4 days. So, that's why I'm sort of skeptical about the PC port. So I don't know, but yeah, so definitely, if you can get a PS4, especially you can get pretty cheap, right?
Well, my main thing is I'm trying to sell one of my extra Xbox Ones. Once they get sold, I'll probably buy a PS4.
Yeah.
Somebody in the things, I don't know who this guy is, but he said Boris be fapping to that new Nami though. What is he talking about?
Oh, in Treasure Cruise. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I figured. That's what I figured. Treasure Cruise coming through.
Yeah. See, Straw had Zulfi's in the chat. He's pretty cool too.
Oh yeah, Zulfi's awesome.
Let's see.
Shout out to him playing
opening
opening 5.
All right, so I would say like let's talk about Kaido a little bit. There's no way we can't talk about Kaido in one of these discussions. So Kaido, like, given the hype and everything else, me personally, I'll say like this was one of the few times in manga that I was like completely like caught off guard. Like I did not expect him to come in that hype or in that good. Like most things, like I feel like sometimes they live up to the hype, but it's real rare to actually get something that you feel like meets your expectations. You know what I mean? Because things just keep getting built up and built up higher and higher and higher. The more people that want to get into it, and like Kaido had been put on such a pedestal that like I thought we were gonna get something stupid where he was gonna be short like Napoleon or something like that, just something to troll us. You know? I thought we were gonna get trolled super hard, and so like. When he came in, he was actually just this raw factor with fucking horns and all. He looks like some Akuma shit. Like he's on some other shit for sure. What did you think? I stopped right there on that page. Like I didn't even finish the chapter. Like I got up.
Let me say this. So there's been a lot of drama today about live reactions and stuff, right? I'm seeing it on Facebook. But I will say, man, King Recon's live reactions, dude, those things are legendary. So,
Thank you.
I think the problem they're having is like live reaction when people have like the video or whatever. Personally, like I don't really care, but I do want to say like if I had to pitch in part of my argument, I'd say like I do enjoy watching live reactions. Not gonna lie, but I like for the entertainment aspect. So like that's what King Recon brings to the table.
I think with the whole live reaction thing, it really comes into like. How you view it, because like I'm not gonna lie, like when I first got into the community and I was just doing theories, I really didn't like see the purpose in them, and then like honestly like you hear about a lot of the bigger people that do live reactions getting like hated on a lot. Like I used to hear about like my friend Blaze, King Recon, a few other people always getting like basically dissed for doing live reactions constantly. And at first, I didn't really have an opinion on it, so I didn't say much. And I heard their facts, and so it kind of made sense to me. But then I got in a scenario where Blaze was like, "Yo, really do these live reactions. I'm telling you, you'll enjoy it." And I started doing it, and now it's one of my favorite things to do. So it's really a controversial thing.
Like, it's a controversial thing. I don't really want to get into it because I don't want to like get myself into this since I don't really have like anything to do with that. I don't do live reactions. But and I mean. At the end of the day, like I support the official release. I'm subscribed to Shonen Jump, all that stuff. So, and I don't, I'm trying to stay out of it since again, it's not my, I'm more. But I just wanted to say that like, when it comes to content creation in general, any kind of website, you're there to create entertainment. That's the whole point, right? You're there to create some sort of product that someone will watch and enjoy, right? So. It's the difference between maybe some people share they just live reactions to do live reactions, right? But when it comes to King Recon, man, dude, his live reaction is legendary, man. That's all I gotta say, dude. Like,
thanks, man. I really do appreciate it.
Like those I always watch yours and then. I was getting hyped,
man. like honestly, people that I know that do live reactions, like aside from King Lightning, because honestly, like he's the person that made me want to do YouTube. Like I enjoy yours the second most. You know what I mean? Because I've never seen a person aside from myself that I know personally. Honestly, I haven't watched a lot of reviewers, so this is no diss to anybody else. But aside from myself, I've never seen anybody else cry over anime and manga. So like when I would see you get so emotional, like you come into tears, I was like, so for sure. Like
you're doing live reactions to share your experience. That's what you're doing. So
yeah, and it's like for me, like when I first seen live reactions, it really changed my interpretation of it because like. When I first started doing them, like alongside like the advice I got from Blaze and stuff like that, it was more of just like I felt like almost like an obligation. Like I just didn't want to like be always like I would say missing opportunities to make videos. So like when I started watching anime, I would always start recording myself and stuff like that. But now it's to a point where it's like I moved my setup to my room just because like I feel like it's more of an intimate or personal experience, which like your viewers kind of thing, where it's like I can just wake up and decide I'm gonna watch anime. Let me turn my camera on real quick. And so, in opposed to like some of the other videos I do, like my theories and stuff like that, where I want to put editing in real time into, like I feel like this is so much more of a natural experience where I don't gotta put an intro. I don't.
Yo, Anime Blaze, come in the chat, man. What's up, dude? Dude, should we invite Anime Blaze or what, dude? We'll have 3/4 of AJL, man. It's been a while.
Reunion.
Yeah, we need Mech too, man. We'll have to do an AJL reunion sometime, dude.
For real. I've been missing it. No
Let's
lie.
have fun, man. But yeah, dude. But yeah, Blaze is saying. Let's see what Blaze is saying. The problem with is when people watch and promote illegal sites. That's what people in the companies have problems with. Yeah. Anime Blaze makes a good point. Like, when you're passionate about something, right? You can't really stop someone from doing live react because if they're trying to share their experience, right? They're trying to demonstrate just how passionate they are about something and how much they're enjoying something, you know. So, but then, yeah, Blaze makes a good point when people, you know, they're advertising, you know, obviously, you know, if you have Kiss manga or something, you know, or stuff like that, you know, at least like try to promote like I said, like I at least try to, you know, subscribe. I do subscribe to the Weekly Swim Jump. You know, I try not to spoil stuff. Now that's primarily what changed my point of view is the One Piece podcast. It's a pretty crazy experience when I went to Anime Boston. I went to the panel. I was gonna go ask them a question about the most recent chapter, and then before I could say anything, they sort of stopped me and said, "Hey, so we don't talk about the most recent. You know, are you talking about the official release?" They're sort of telling me like, you know, hey, we only talk about the official release here, so don't talk about anything that's happened, you know, because it wasn't Monday yet, so that chapter wasn't out. And so that never hit me, you know, I never thought about that before. That you know, there's like these guys are very professional, right? And that you know they want to maintain sort of level of professionalism. And so when I said, you know what, you know, I'm not saying that I'm trying to do that to be a lead or anything, or I think one is better than the other. I just personally, you know, as the direction I want to take my channel, I decided like a couple months ago to sort of, you know, stop doing that reaction, stop doing that, just because, you know, like I said, the direction I want to take my channel. But that doesn't mean like it's right or wrong, in my opinion. You know, it's just different preference, you know, style of preference. So. Also, and the other thing is because of my Treasure Cruise game, I was getting a lot of people who were anime only. So, you know, I try to again, it's a lot of factors for me. But again, that's not for everyone. You know, everyone gets to decide how they do their stuff. You know, as long as you're passionate about what you're doing, man. Like Recon, dude. I don't know. Yeah, dude, the best one, probably one of my favorite ones was the one where you reacted to what was it, the E3 conference where the Pip Boy. Remember that?
Oh my god, I'm still hyped about that, bro.
Bro, what's funny is I don't even like Gintama. I don't watch it, but I watch your live reactions just because I enjoy them. Like just like to see how much you enjoy the show, kind of thing, is like a cool experience. You know, that's how I like to do certain things. I don't know. For me, anime and manga should just be about like positivity and enjoyment in general. And so it's like that's why it's like personally I've cut ties with a lot of people that I was first working with because like honestly I'm an emotional dude. I love my shows and like I'm the first person when somebody says like fuck Sasuke or fuck OB or people like that, I get butthurt point blank. So like I like to see more emotional people and I like to see people that actually care about it. So that's real cool.
Yeah, same here. Like, I've told Recon this plenty of times. It's hard for me to. I get hype like internally, but it's hard for me to demonstrate it. You know, I just can't do it. So you know, watching some videos like Recon really, you know, like that's what I feel, but I can't demonstrate it. You know, I can't do it, man. So these are just awesome to watch. And the cool thing about live reactions, they come out first before reviews. So if sometimes I watch them and I catch something I didn't catch the first time, or something like that. You know, so.
I really do appreciate that, though, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Like, come on, man.
All right, so now that we have finished the 5 minutes of Recon praise, let's go to Kaido. What did you think of Kaido, Recon?
Yo, man. First of all, that's probably like on a hype scale. That for me, that was either second or third this year, the most hype I've been like all year for anything, out of games or manga or TV show or anything. That shit was absolute. I mean, because the thing was, it caught me off guard. Whenever somebody messaged me that day to go check it out, I could have sworn it was gonna be Sanji. I was like, all right, so Sanji, and then when I saw Sanji begin the chapter, I was like, okay, cool. So we got Sanji. I wonder if he's gonna do something hype, or we're gonna see Big Mom. And then out of nowhere, we go to the second half of the chapter. I thought it was Shanks, and then it wasn't Shanks. And I thought it was NL. It wasn't NL, but in fact, it was 100 Beast Kaido. Not looking like classic Oda style, but Oda actually made him look like a Brock Lesnar, Rock looking type of dude. And he looks badass. So what can I say? Kaido looks like a monster. And I love his introduction too. I think his introduction is the most unique and my favorite out of anyone in the One Piece series so far. The suicide aspect was incredible. I love that shit, man. It was great.
It really was too, because when I first seen the suicide thing, I really thought that was talking about Shanks. Like I thought they were gonna challenge Shanks right now. That's why I was really hyped to begin with.
Yeah.
It was all about like they're like on a suicide mission, like they're just gonna go after Shanks right off the start. You know, like these fuckers are crazy. But then instead we get this, and I think what made it so cool was having like Urag right there just telling the story on the cloud, like somebody from Skypiea, like they're just kind of watching, like he was an observer. And honestly, the only thing that was more hype this year for me than this was Game of Thrones. I mean, because Game of Thrones is
good man. Good
yo, for the watch, that was
for the watch, bro.
That was the biggest moment of the year. I just sat there and looked at myself and rethought a lot of things. Like, ain't no TV show let me rethink things.
For the watch.
So, and I think another hype moment for me was when I found, because I didn't know this, maybe this was just because I wasn't paying attention enough, but when I found out that they were gonna keep doing Arrow as Green Arrow, I was fucking hyped, because I was so sad when they did the series finale. I was like, that's how it ends. Like he's just gonna ride off with Felicity. Like that's it. Like he just, like that's just like it was just too much like a fairy tale. Like he just dipped. Like so it's really good that they're gonna do another series. But going back into One Piece, I think it was with Bellamy. Let's talk a little bit about Bellamy. What do you expect out of him if he doesn't join the Straw Hats? What direction could he go? Where does his story take him from here?
I personally, like I stated before, in Dressrosa, I have like a top 3 things that interest me the most. And Bellamy, whenever he stated that Skypiea changed him, that's in my top 3 of things. I'm really interested on seeing what Bellamy saw. And I think if he at least joins the Alliance, he doesn't have to join the crew, but if he at least joins the Alliance, I believe what he said there is going to impact the rest of the story later on. And I can't wait to see what it was that he saw in Skypiea that changed him.
Yeah, that reminds me. A lot of people think that he lost his crew on the way up there, which I forgot about. So, because we're all wondering, what happened to his crew. I don't think he has a crew at this point anymore. He seemed like he was willing to stay on Dressrosa and become a Doflamingo executive. So you can assume that the crew members, they're gone.
Or maybe they got stranded somehow in Skypiea and they like sacrificed themselves for him, and so that's why he's changed or something.
Maybe, yeah, something happened with his crew, I think. But it's just I want to see that flashback, and it's kind of weird. Like I've talked about this a couple times, the way Oda has been doing stuff in the New World, or at least post Fishman Island, and that he does these. There's a lot of flashbacks he needs to do, and he started doing these weird, like they're not weird, but these small flashbacks, like they take up 2 or 3 panels. So normally in One Piece we're used to these long, drawn-out flashbacks, right? And so you think each character is gonna have one of these long, drawn-out flashbacks. That's gonna make that's gonna extend the series way too long. I think it's cool. It's a good idea. Oda's doing these sort of weird, these small 2 to 3 panel flashbacks just randomly inserted into, like you saw, we see clips of it at one time, so we don't get it all at one time. So we see like Zoro and Mihawk having some conversations from time to time. We see just stuff like that, like Rayleigh and Luffy. So instead of getting, hey, here's everything that happened with Robin, during the 2-year time skip, we're probably gonna get like, here's like a snippet here, here's like a snippet there, something like that, or that's what I'm expecting. And so, I don't know, because we still have a lot to learn about Doflamingo. Probably still have a lot more to learn about Law, stuff like that. So
okay, here's the thing. So now since we know Doflamingo is pretty much captured, which I thought was gonna happen long time. I didn't think he would get killed. It was not likely that somebody like Luffy would kill him. So that being said, do you see him getting broken out soon, or do you think he's just gonna be locked up until like the very end series and then play a part in the end series? Like, what do you think his relevance is? Because obviously he has to make a return, or they want to get pulled away in chains and stuff like that. So, how do you think Doflamingo affects the rest of the story, and what do you think? I guess Kaido's big plan was. What was the plan with Doflamingo? Because I personally think that he was expecting Doflamingo to pretty much raise an army of 100 Zoans to kill him. I think that's kind of that's why a part of it. So, what do you think?
I'm going to say I think we're going to see him next chapter. Just from the last page of this chapter, we see Suru. and I think she's looking down at Doflamingo. So I think we're gonna have a conversation between the two of them next chapter, possibly. And I'm excited. Like that'd be awesome. I would love to see that. And then that would probably imply that he's gonna be captured, and we see him probably later. But yeah, someone is saying in the chat that Dofi doesn't know too much.
Right?
What?
She was the one pursuing him since he was a pirate?
Yeah, she's been pursuing him. We saw her the first time we saw Doflamingo as well. So they made their first appearances at the same time. Yeah, I think obviously he'll play. Like we have to learn more about his eyes, more about his backstory, National Treasure, Dressrosa, all that stuff. I don't know if we'll know now, but I do think we'll see a conversation before the end of Dressrosa between him and Suru. So, I don't know. Okay. What do you think, Recon?
I mean, yeah, I basically agree with what you just said. I didn't even notice that what you just said about Suru looking down, and that could have been.
Oh, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That
it's on the very last panel of the chapter.
Yeah.
She's like looking down, and she has like a surprised expression or something.
Yo, because I was focusing on the Kairos Rebecca Luffy deal so much, I didn't even think about that. That's awesome, man. Like that's so cool. But regardless of that, when it comes to Dofi, I strongly believe that if someone is going to break him out, then it just depends on how badly Kaido wants to do this war with him. But other than that, I next time we're seeing Dofi is going to be the next time that Oda decides to make him relevant. I don't know if it's going to be next chapter, 100 chapters, 3,000 chapters. I don't know, but I think we'll see him before the final war. That's for sure.
Before the final war? Yeah, so, I agree.
So what I was thinking is I think a likely time when we are to see him is when we have the Straw Hats going to the Red Line. Because I think once we get more revelations about the Celestial Dragons, he'd play a bigger part as far as revealing their secrets. Because he obviously has their secrets, and he's going to want to get out. And for him, I don't think Doflamingo cares essentially who he's fighting for or with. He's shown that he doesn't care. To him, justice is whoever's the last one standing kind of thing. So I could very easily see him in a situation where like some group of pirates, or like even Blackbeard or somebody, offers to free him in return for secrets. I could see something like that happen. We've already seen people broken out. On top of that, people were asking, let's see, Bonnie for future Straw Hat. What do you think?
No, I don't think so. No. I'm not willing to say. No, not yet. Maybe if we get some more clues or something.
I would say that maybe
Bonnie's just one of those characters.
Okay.
Who, I don't know. I mean, I have a theory on her. Someone wanted to hit me up with a collab theory, and but he hasn't hit me up yet. I don't know if you ever got my message, but I don't know, man. I just don't see it.
So it's
stepping off of Bonnie for a sec, because you were just talking about Blackbeard. This chapter had me so hyped for the future of Blackbeard and his crew, because Kinemon had the bag that Burgess has, right? So I was thinking about the future, and first thing that popped in my mind is 3 days have passed. So Big Man's gonna go back to get the candy. Blows up in her face. She's gonna want to go after the Straw Hats. Kaido's gonna know that Luffy took down Doflamingo. He's gonna want to go after Luffy. And then we're gonna have Blackbeard trying to get back his bag of devil fruits from Kinemon, which Burgess probably knows that he has.
You know what? I just realized Kinemon doesn't know about devil fruits, right?
No.
Because he calls it magic. What if there actually are devil fruits in there? Huh. I thought, there's speculation that's the same bag that King Riku had back in the flashback.
Okay.
Very similar. And so I wasn't really thinking, I didn't think it was like anything special, but now that I think about it, they don't really know about devil fruits.
Exactly.
So they could have a ton of devil fruits in there, artificial ones or whatnot.
Precisely.
And they just don't know. They don't know about it. They're just whatever, they're fruits.
That's a huge bag, man. There has to be something in there.
Yeah.
Bag is humongous. But yeah, like it just had me thinking of who would Blackbeard send. Like, would he send Aokiji? Because now that we know that Aokiji's with him, and Kaido
was close to the island. I expected Aokiji to show up by now. I was thinking he's gonna show up at some point.
Exactly. So
then again, he did ask them to send an admiral, so probably didn't want to get involved there.
I'm telling you, man. The next arc is gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, we get Aokiji, man.
I've talked about this with you, Recon. Like, I was hoping that they would start that the future arcs weren't this long, because the whole thing about One Piece's adventure, right,
Exactly.
visiting new locales, visiting new places, people, stuff like that. So I want them to maybe move to a different island maybe once a year instead of waiting like 2.5 years. Because I like the diversity, see the different kind of
Yeah.
islands and stuff.
Same here. I just feel like Oda had to make it this long. I feel like Dressrosa is just that one big setup arc for the rest of the series. Because
Yeah, I
I
agree.
know a lot of these alliances are gonna come to help him later on and whatnot.
It's
It was
crazy,
all
man.
a lot of setup for the new world.
Everything that's happening now is so crazy. I was disappointed that we didn't see what happened between Kaido and the Kid Alliance. I was telling Goku of Light what I thought would happen. What was it? I don't know. I forgot. Maybe he would tell them what happened. I don't remember. I was thinking of a way they could get out of it, but I
Well,
can't
one
remember.
thing somebody's asking about, and I'm kind of looking really forward to, is the people that we seen Sanji's group, the mystery girl like hiding behind the tree. I think that's a Minkman. That's what I'm gonna say for now. I think the Minkmen need to make an appearance in this next arc because they're the one race we haven't really seen much of.
Yeah, I
And
agree. I think she's a
if
big
she's not a
man.
Minkman, I don't know what else she could be, to be
Yeah,
honest.
people saying she's a reindeer fruit. Um, I don't know about
Um,
that,
yeah, I
but she
think
could be a Minkman with the reindeer fruit as well. And the thing is, here's the thing: people are saying that it's a human with the reindeer fruit, and then they would pair her up with Chopper, which is kind of weird if you think about it. It's a human and a reindeer together, right? I don't think Oda would do that. Now, if it was a
yeah,
Minkman and with the reindeer fruit, it's a bit less weird. Still kind of weird, but not as weird. So I think it might just be a Minkman in general. I
I
don't
think
know.
the Meatmen are like similar to like how we had like on Dragon Ball Z, just like these random looking creatures that were like pretty much like integrated in humanity. I think that's kind of what Meatmen are. Like they're gonna not just be like one type of looking animal, but just multiple things. Like I think his name was like Picos or something like that. The guy that was the lion with the turtle shell.
Oh, Pegons,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
yeah, and then you have the guy that was with them with the egg or whatever, and all this different stuff. I think that there's another part of the new world that's affected in a different way. Whether it's like it's more like a jungle, or or things like that. It's just more out there. I think that Kaido's territories look a lot more like like wild, like not controlled as well as like the other ones. Like for example, like I think like someone like Whitebeard's territories or like something with like Big Mom or Big Ma'am, like you're gonna see them enforce things. But with Kaido's territories, it seems like people are just kind of running wild, and then his people that are in his crew are supposed to be like keeping them under control. But I don't think really gives a fuck because he's on this whole suicide thing. So I like,
Yeah.
for example, how we seen like the I don't know what their names were, but the people that got defeated in the by Sanji and them in the last chapter, people that were just randomly surveying from his crew. I think we're going to see some of that. And what I'm interested in to see, I think, more going into the Kaido arc is what Drake plays in a lot of it. Because I did a theory like a month ago where I explained that I think Drake is going to take over the underworld. And I think the more that we see that Kaido really doesn't give a fuck about what's going on, that it's more likely that we're going to see a mischievous character try to slide in there and take what's his. And another thing is people asking about the whole Yonkos. Will we see anybody stronger than Yonkos? I think as we get towards more of the mid-series or beyond that, we can expect like Blackbeard and Luffy and people of that caliber to just, I think, push the bar farther. Um,
Yeah,
I,
I'm sure the world government has like aces up their sleeves or something. I don't think
yeah,
CP0 is that strong, but I do think that
yeah,
they
I
have
think they're a lot
something.
made. I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
they're that strong.
Maybe Kong's super strong.
Akainu
Akainu
is
is
on a
a
level with my
beast.
opinion.
Yeah, Akainu is definitely on co level. Well, is he
Yeah.
definitely on co level? I don't know.
For me, he is. Especially now that he
I'm
looks
going to say
bigger.
he is. I was going to say yes, but then I stopped and thought about it real quick. I think he is though. I think he's Yonko level. Yeah.
I
Again,
definitely put him up there.
Oda said Akainu would finish One Piece in what, like a
Um,
year or two if
Yeah.
he was the main character.
yeah, I mean, there
So
was a
yeah,
time
that
skip.
would imply defeating the
He wasn't,
Yonko.
but now he is.
Wait, what?
I said prior time skip he wasn't, but now I think he is.
Yeah, probably Taskip he wasn't, but yeah,
Yeah.
definitely
You know
battle with
that
Aokiji, a lot of
that
experience there.
statement really makes you think back to Don Chinjao's statement whenever he said the man who becomes Pirate King is the one with the strongest will, with the one with
Yeah,
strongest conquers King Haki. So is that Oda implying that Akainu's King Saki's on that level?
maybe. It might be like super strong. We still don't know much. Like
I
there
think
might
the
be
first
different ways to manipulate it.
will
Obviously Shanks,
the
he
strongest.
can actually like damage stuff. People would think that maybe Conquer's Hockey causes like elemental hockey and stuff like that, like Kid
Yeah.
Princeton does. There's a lot of different theories. There's not just like a burst of like energy or whatever. That there's like a lot of different ways to use it. And now there's awakening for Devil Fruits, so it's really complicated. I don't know.
I see what you mean. It's just I've always seen Kaido as a man with like a really strong will for what he does.
Yeah,
So.
I'm excited to learn more about him. To be honest, I want to know like a lot more about his backstory and stuff. Because I don't know. At the end of the day, he's we've talked about how he is that type of character who is not necessarily an evil character. He just very strong. Like you said, strong willed when it comes to
what he believes in. Speculation about Akainu, and I kind of did a discussion about it. I might do a theory video about it. Is that I think he used to be a samurai alongside of Fujitora. And I think that at some point he did something in his past to pretty much disgrace himself, or like something similar to Bleach. How I think his name is Byakuga, Rukia's older brother. Pretty much, he pretty much did something that went against like his household, and that's what brought shame to him. And then from that point on, he refused to like let up on absolute justice, like even if it meant killing Rukia. I think we see a similar thing with Akainu. I think that in the past it shows like if you look at pictures of him as a kid, he looked like he was a bandit. Like his shoes are tore up, he has a knife. And then when you look at pictures of him in his teenage years, he had a sword, a katana across his back. If you look at pictures of him without his shirt, he has a tattoo of a sword on his arm as well. So you have the big Hawaiian tattoo, but on his other arm you have a sword, a black sword that points up. And I believe that him and Fujitora come from a similar background of being swordsmen, but I think that he made some kind of choice that basically put justice. It's kind of a little bit opposite of the whole Rukia thing, because I think he put justice over his friends, and because of that, he didn't feel like he was honored anymore, and he was a disgraced swordsman kind of thing. He probably failed somebody, so that's why he doesn't use a sword anymore. They both trained under Zephyr, and I believe a lot of that has to go with that. Basically, after Akainu trained under Zephyr, he basically recommended Fujitora to train under him. They both learned. As the story progresses, Akainu becomes the admiral, and he promotes him up with him. Now, I feel like we're gonna see them have a fallout, and I think this is gonna kind of bring us a little bit more relevance on both of their past, because we'll see a difference in their viewpoints, how they come from a similar background, but Akainu is all about this absolute justice, and Fujitora is all about the people. And then we'll see how Akainu maybe like lost sight of that. Like in the past, he used to be about the people too at one time when he was like a bandit or when he was this poor kid, but at some point he lost sight of that and cared more about justice than anything. Maybe his mother died because of some other bandit or thief killed her, something along those lines. So, well, that's just speculation.
I think something like that happening.
Let's see. Is there stuff in the comments? Let's see what people say.
Oh, Drake 7 Warlord on the cover against Kaido.
He said men are basically Animal Crossing characters in One Piece.
Yeah, well, you've seen what a mink is, right? You know what a mink is, Goku?
Not exactly.
It looks like a mole-looking thing, so that's why I think that she might be a mink man, because she looks like like she had like the tip, like the nose, like a mole kind of thing. So it could be that. I don't know.
I was thinking that just because she looked like an animal, more or less. I think they're like animal crossed kind of things.
Do you think all the nobles are pathetic, or you might have some powerhouse? I think they're all pathetic. Like they just, there's no reason for them to train. There's no reason for them to do anything. Really, they have everything made out for them.
I think any of them that actually can fight will no longer actually be celestial dragons. Like we're likely to see a similar like.
They would shun that. They would see it as a human like trait, and they would kick them out of the. Yeah. I don't know.
It'd be like, what are you training for? Because like you're not supposed when you're at that point, you're not supposed to really have to lift a finger.
Exactly.
Call the admirals. So,
yeah.
I think going into the future, the only way we see something similar is like I was gonna say, like with Daffy, like how there's somebody that has a connection to the celestial dragons, but he's no longer one, or he's like a bastard child. Like if you haven't seen my killer theory, that's kind of what it's all about. And if you ever seen Game of Thrones and how they have like the bastard children and they're always like casted away from the king's family and all this other stuff, they're not considered the same. I think we can see a similar thing with celestial dragons, especially when we've seen the on the page a couple. I don't remember exactly the chapter, but I did it in my video where basically the dragon says like he's tired of wives 1 through 5. Go ahead and throw them back to being commoners and let's get some new wives, basically. So I think we can see like celestial dragon blood spread out through the commoners, but they're not actual celestial dragons. So it's likely we're to see a couple of them rise up and want to be on Luffy's side, or one of the other pirates that are rebelling against them. And I kind of think that's where Killer's position is in this. I think that's why he's behind Kid, And I think that's why we see how Kid has this perspective on celestial dragons, because he's seen himself firsthand how basically grimy they can be to their own family and their own blood, because what he did to kill it. So yeah.
Yeah, man, something like that happening.
Where did King Recon go? He faded away.
Oh, King Recon left?
Oh no, he's here. He's muted his mic.
Yeah, he's probably busy playing some Call of Duty.
Let's see.
He said he's playing Metal Gear actually. I never played Metal Gear. I kind of want to try them at some point.
You're talking about the Metal Gear Solid, the one that just on the Xbox?
Any of them. I've never played any of them. I heard there's like an HD collection maybe or something.
There's go on the Xbox One when you get a chance, and they have a free one for the gold members, and you can just download it.
Oh really? Not sick.
Yeah. Yeah, we do that before they. Did they switch over every couple of months or weeks or whatever? I just downloaded it yesterday. I haven't played it yet, but it's probably dope. I like Metal Gear Solid games, or like Splinter Cell, like those stealthy type of games.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's ask this: going into the future, out of between Kid, Law, and Luffy, who do you think gains the most of development between now and I would say the end of the Yonko reign? Because I honestly believe at some point in the future, if we're going to abolish things like the world government and all these other things, we're going to abolish the three big powers in itself. So I think the Yonko system will be abolished as well. So if that being said, if the Yonkos are gone at that point, who do you think are the strongest pirates? Is it still like the remaining people of the worst generation? Do some of them die off? Do the idea of it change? Do they come up with a new
I think there'll still be a Yonko type system, but it'll serve a different purpose. So they'll like maintain peace in different islands or whatever.
Like more of like
and probably be most of the the Luffy alliance, which would probably include like Luffy, Law, X Drake, probably like Kuzan, people like that. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited to see like some of the people we haven't seen fight yet though. Like Goku, Kong. I want to see Garp go all out. Even though he's probably not. He's not in his prime, obviously, but I think he's still really strong.
So, what do you think about as far as the Kaido and the Kid Alliance? Like, what options do they really have right now? What can they do, or what do you think they're gonna do?
I don't know. I don't think they're in an alliance per se, not necessarily, or not yet. I could definitely see them being in an alliance though, because obviously they want to take down Shanks. It would be beneficial, but I don't know. I'm not ready to say that it's like, it's like they're in an alliance already. So.
I got you. So do you think in this situation we could see one of them bail, like on the other two? Like, could we see a Pooh or a Po, whatever his name, Scratchman, just dip, or could we see Basil Hawkins just dip? Or
no, I think they'll stick to. I think they'll stick together, but I don't think necessarily with Kaido at the moment. I think they're still going to be doing their own thing. They have a plan. Killer has a plan to take down Shanks. It's some sort of plan.
So in this scenario, do you think out of the four of them, Killer's the one most likely to come up with a quick plan to get them out of trouble?
Yeah. Killer's going to be the one, doing that kind of stuff. And now that Basil Hawkins on the team, like it makes it a lot easier to make a plan because you can just ask him if it'll work and check his cards.
Gotcha.
What I'm excited about with this chapter is, you guys know I'm a big fan of Chopper, so I think this might be a Chopper arc.
I think this might be.
I don't know, man. We saw Chopper by himself.
Chopper and stuff.
We saw Chopper by himself. I wonder what's going on with him. So he said, "Come here quick." Wonder what he found. I want to know. Or not this chapter. This was like 2 chapters ago, but I can't wait to see him finally get a good fight or something.
The Chopper hype.
Yeah, the Chopper hype. So they can run. Sanji did it with the Yonko. I don't think they need to run though. I don't think. Big Man was after Caesar. Kaido has no beef with those three. No reason to attack them or anything. I don't know.
So what could we expect out of Kaido's demeanor? Since he's like this guy that just is like trying to kill himself. Like, do you think that he's just going to be absolutely rude and like a savage, or do you think that he's going to like be chill, or like what do you think? Do we get a little bit of comic relief out of him? Like, are we going to be a troll? Like, what do you think?
I hope not. I hope we have plenty of comic relief characters already.
Yeah.
I would prefer just to be a serious, threatening character, not necessarily an evil character, but someone who, is just desperate for a way out of a situation. Again, I like serious characters. I like comic relief characters as well, but at this point we have so many comic relief characters. We have just got Bartolomeo, Cavendish, sort of a comic relief character. Um, I don't know. Doflamingo was a cool change of pace, though. That's what I'm saying. I like Doflamingo. Like he's my favorite villain because he just brings.
Honestly,
he's threatening, man.
Doflamingo was a savage. My only complaint ever was the way he dressed. Like he looked like a stripper on the Vegas Strip kind of thing. Like he had like this like big fucking fluffy thing and heels.
Yeah, I mean he's based off a real life person. Like all the characters are based off real life people. So
could have like changed the color tint or something. I would have at least.
My complaint is he just had too many abilities, man. Oda should not have given him so many abilities with a string fruit. I mean, it was good to showcase that those guys are experts. Like the people who are better at using their devil fruit are the people who will rise to the top.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, this is overkill. You gave him way too many abilities.
Like to the point where I thought
Awakening is fine. Awakening is fine, but when you give him like be able to heal himself, be able to heal himself from like radioactive knife or whatever that he cut him with, and then be able to make a clone, being able to do birdcage all during this entire fight. Like this makes you wonder, like what would happen if he didn't have birdcage on? Would Luffy have beat him? I don't know. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where I think he dropped the ball on that one. But that's just my opinion. I don't know.
You feel like he was a lot more OP than he should have been?
Yeah, definitely. Like I still think I still didn't think Luffy would beat him. But it's just one of those things where I think, I don't know, man. And then that's a whole other thing. Gear 4th, man. I don't know if I ever told you, but I feel like Gear 4th was used way too early in the New World. What is he gonna do now? Like, okay, he beat Doflamingo, the next strongest guy. What is he gonna use? Gear 5th? It's like.
Yeah, I don't want to see a constant like gear system. Just.
Yeah, I don't either. I didn't. I was like, cool, just having Gear 3 and then him developing a new move. Now the cool thing about Gear 4th, like once he revealed it was actually pretty cool. I like how it works, and it's very different than Gear 3 and 2. It's similar in the way he does it, but it's actually very different. So I like it. The problem is, that's supposed to be his trump card, right? So what do you do now when he faces a stronger opponent?
I want to see more of like.
He's screwed. Like he's literally screwed.
Like I think like that's kind of the only aspect that we have to work off of is his devil fruit. We have to see him like find a way to make it work for him more. Like maybe like if he makes like certain areas around him like maybe like rubber, and when he steps on them he could bounce off them like super hard and like flat, like almost like how Bellamy does his springs, similar to that, but like using the floor to do it.
Yeah, and I think that's why they introduced Awakenings. I think Oda knew that he wrote himself into like a corner where he literally, he couldn't do anything else. Like Gear 4th, that's it. There's nothing stronger than that. So I think he knew he ran something to the corner, so he said, okay, let's introduce Awakenings. I've foreshadowed it before, so let's go ahead and introduce her right now. And so we can assume that over the next couple of arcs, Luffy will be working on his Awakening, and we'll see it at the next big fight. So that's going to be the next step. And then after that, I don't know what...
For me, too, I really don't like that it has, like, almost, like... To me, it feels like a Dragon Ball Z aspect, where it's just, like, leveling up, like, level to level. And, like, we don't really see that from other characters. So it just... To me, it seems like a really unfair trait that Luffy has. Like...
It's not like he's gaining power level, though.
No, I know. It's like he's pushing his body in different plateaus in different ways. And it's like...
Zoro might be just as strong as Luffy. So I think Zoro is really, people don't understand how strong Zoro is. And you have to understand, it's not really that he's getting stronger than everyone is, like, or at a different rate. The reason it's happening is because of who he trained with. He literally trained with the second strongest person in the world when he was at his prime. And then Zoro is training with the strongest swordsman of all time. Sanji was training with Ivankov. He got sword on the stick there, but there's still some cool potential. I think there's a lot of cool potential into the recipes that he collected. So again, that's what I talked about.
For example, like what I'm saying off that is like, so, like one of my big complaints about Dragon Ball Z would be that like you would have scenarios where like when Goku was going to Namek and things like that, and he was training the entire time, and then after he got there and beat up Recruitment and some of the people, he got fucked up and had to heal and all this other shit. And then during the fight, he wasn't even really essentially strong enough to beat Frieza. He had to go Super Saiyan and all this other shit.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so my comparison to that is like, for example, when like Luffy is fighting opponents, and even after training, he still seems like undermatched and has to come out with like some kind of transformation or some kind of ace card. And it's like, I know it's a common thing in shonen, but honestly, the thing about One Piece that to me that was different is it's supposed to be this whole adventure concept. So I would really like to see more of him using his like environment or different elements to win fights, opposed to transformations.
I guess. I mean, at this point though, you gotta understand that people are so strong that that's just not gonna work on them. Like, sure, he couldn't beat him, but that's expected. You know, these guys aren't. It's only 2 years. It hasn't been like a 10-year time skip where he's been able to like master his craft. No, he only had 2 years, which actually is not a lot of time.
Yeah.
So, even though he trained with Rayleigh and he did get a lot stronger, doesn't mean he's as strong as those guys who have been training for decades. You know, so the fact that he had to use Gear Fourth, I would prefer him to use a different, like, have a different trick or something, or have to like use. I thought Sabo and him would take him down together. To be completely honest.
To me, the most logical thing should have been like Law activating some kind of cursed sword and just raping him. Like, to me, that would have been the best, I think, outcome, because we already know that Law has a cursed sword, and Law, I feel like Law would have actually killed him opposed to leaving him alive, and it could have been a lot. I feel like a lot more of a comforting or closing scene to see Law get his justice.
Yeah, people saying in chat, the different forms of Gear Fourth. Yeah, I mean, that's something me and Princeton talked a lot about. Recon might have been in that stream too. But I don't know. That'd be cool. But again, that just because they're different forms doesn't mean they're stronger than each other.
Yeah.
Like, it would just mean that it's advantageous to use one over another versus certain opponents, which again does provide an edge. But at this point, we're expecting to fight people stronger than Doflamingo from now on. So,
it's like,
not necessarily at every island.
You know how
but,
we introduced, like, okay, you know how you were saying, like, the one thing you really didn't like about Yu Yu Hakusho was that the plot hole, right? Like, Yusuke just comes back. He's just back with the whole demon blood.
It's not really plot hole. It's more just like it wasn't foreshadowed. It's like a plot.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't presented correctly. Like, all of a sudden he just had this recessive trait, and then he was just coming back.
Yeah, the one human on Earth happened to him.
Yeah. Okay. All that just happened to factor into him. So, like, the fact that, like, when they introduced Gear 2 and they were telling us, like, he was taking, like, inches off of his life and stuff like that, like, I feel like the fact that we're introducing new gears and all this other stuff, it's like that should have some huge effect, some, like, traverse effect. Like, if Gear 2 is taking time off of his life, then what is Gear 3 and Gear 4 doing? And it's like,
I think that's one of those things where Oda wrote himself into a wall. Same thing with the hormones from Ivankov. Well, with the hormones, he was like, okay, well, he's already losing time off his life for Gear Second. I'm spamming that. So let me do this with Ivankov, and this will set up something cool in the future. So we know Oda has something planned. He knows that. We know that he has something planned with Luffy's, supposedly life reduction. At this point, probably he's lost like 20 years off his life or something. So Oda has something planned, and we're gonna wait and see. Is it gonna be Law using immortality on him? Is it going to be something else? We don't know yet. Is it going to just mean that he's going to die at the end of the series due to his, what happened to him? Did Goldie? Is that maybe that's why Roger died? Maybe he went through a similar thing. I don't know. Or not why Roger died, but why he gave himself up. We know he gave himself up because he had an incurable disease.
I understand that. So, it was just like, okay, like, so to answer Miggy and just
I don't like that either. They sort of lost the whole drawback of Gear Second.
Well, no, like I would like to see more stuff like. For example, like, one of the coolest things about, this is, anyone that is, like, barely starting Seven Deadly Sins, I apologize because it's kind of spoilerish, but in Season 2, at the end of Season 2, or in chapters, I think, like, 90 or something like that, around there, when we see Mia Lotus basically use the other Seven Deadly Sins to make a combination counterattack to beat the opponent that was stronger than him, I thought that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen from a main character. Like, the fact that he, like, all these characters that were supposed to be, like, his crew is, quote-unquote, like, basically how they always have the good team and the bad team kind of thing, like, they were all involved in some kind of final attack. I thought that was pretty cool, like, I would like to see some kind of...
Was it like an Oars type attack, where they did it on Oars? Like the team combo attack on Oars, or what was it?
So the character Mia Lotus, his main ability is to counter. So, like, say, like, you attack him, he takes your ability and throws it back twice as strong. So what he did is he had all 6 other members of his group throw their strongest attacks at him, and then he countered all those at once and threw them back at the main opponent.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So it threw all 6 attacks times 2 towards the guy. So it was just super fucking OP. Like, it was ridiculous. And I think
spam that in every fight and win.
Yeah, like, I think if we could see some shit like that, like more stuff, like, for example, like Sanji does some kind of fucking kick in the air, and then, Zoro fucking does some kind of slash, and then Luffy comes in with the final fucking King Kong punch. Like, some combo attack like that would be amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think that ever happened though. I don't think.
yeah, no, we don't
What's it
get
called?
much.
Shonen Jump wouldn't allow it. I don't think. Luffy has to be the main guy who gets the
Yeah,
victory every
focus.
time, just because that will drive sales. You know, Luffy. Everyone watches the show. Well, not everyone, but majority of people watch the show and read the manga for Luffy. You know, to see how he beats the enemy. I would love to see Zoro be the guy who takes out the main enemy. I would love to see Sanji be the guy. I would love to see Chopper, obviously, be the guy who takes down the main enemy. I would love to see Law and Sabo take down the main enemy. But at the end of the day, we all know Luffy's gonna be king of the pirates, and the crowd love Luffy. You know, people watch the show just for Luffy sometimes. So he's the guy who unfortunately has to take everyone down. Now you never know. Oda might surprise us. He always surprises us. So I'd love to see Zoro, who I said, man, I'm sure he's like this close to being as strong as Luffy. I'm pretty sure.
No,
I think he'll get his time to shine, and hopefully he'll be able to be like the guy who takes down the final villain once and for the first time in the series. Mm-hmm.
Are you there, King Recon?
Yeah. My bad. I had to go get some cereal. I was hungry.
problem, man.
No worries. I gotta wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. So before I go, I just want to get some final predictions. Like, what do you expect to see this next chapter?
All right. So in the next chapter, I'm expecting us to see Luffy's gonna go back. I think the entire chapter is gonna be about Luffy, Rebecca, and Kairos. So I strongly believe that the reason why Rebecca is putting on her clothes right now, and why why Oda showed that conversation between Kairos and Luffy, and why Luffy got so emotional, he got mad, and why Luffy said he has to go back, is not because he's going to tell Rebecca to join, but instead he's going to go talk to Rebecca about Kairos. And Rebecca, before Luffy intervenes and talks about Kairos, Rebecca's going to announce to the entirety of Dressrosa, the same way Vivi did, that because this is the thing, Oda included the King Riku and Elizabalo conversation for a reason, I believe. That whenever King Riku stated that the successor is going to be Rebecca, Rebecca's going to be like the next queen, or whatever, and the first thing that came to mind was Rebecca's not ready to do it. So, in order to make everything in Dressrosa come full circle about the concept of what it means to be a king, and everything that's went down with Kairos and Rebecca, I strongly believe that Rebecca's going to tell everybody on Dressrosa that the next king needs to be Kairos, and Kairos is going to hear that, and he's going to get over his fear of what the world thinks of him, and because that's Kairos' biggest drawback, is that he's afraid of being with Rebecca because he doesn't want just like in a flashback how it was comedic, but it actually is symbolic, and he doesn't want to stain Rebecca with all of his past mistakes. But seeing that Rebecca will actually accept him for who he is and wants him to become the next king, I think that would make the entirety of Dressrosa just come full circle, and I think that's what the next chapter is going to be about.
Yeah, I agree 100%, man. Everything there. I never thought that he'd go back to ask Rebecca to join. I don't see that.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's you said it perfectly, man. Like, it's like the perfect ending to Dressrosa. There's a lot of Kairos fans out there. I'm not one of them, but I would like to see Kairos as king, even though I'm not a big fan of him. So, even I agree. I will do that. That's like 100% agree. What do you think, Goku?
Yeah, I think overall he hit it on the nail. I think we can't expect too much more, especially like going forward. We're gonna see him become king if we have time in this chapter. If not, we might see just the conversation and then get a little few flashes of Sanji and a few of the other characters.
They'll probably end with like Rebecca revealing the truth or something.
Yeah. But I would say like for sure I'm looking forward to getting wrapped up with Dressrosa and getting the new king situated, and B, getting into another arc more than anything. I'm hoping that we can, within the next chapter to 2 chapters, we can get kind of going into this whole Kaido thing or even the Meek Men arc. I honestly don't think we're going to get straight into Kaido. I think we're going to get just little tidbits of him, and we're going to start going to Wano and other places like that. I'm excited for all the possibilities moving forward. And I would say going forward, the character that I'm really interested to see come into this arc, because I feel like he has to come in at some point. It's just I don't know when. Is Rob Lucci? I think. Huh?
No, I was just saying Lucci.
Yeah. I just he's hyped for me. I mean, the whole Dark Justice thing and all that. Like he was amazing. So far, he's been my favorite villain. He was great. I mean, he's not even I mean, he is a villain, but not really, because he's acting off of what he thinks is justice. So it's really more of perspective if you look at it like that. I'm more like an anti-hero if you think about it. And yeah, so I'm just hyped to see him at any point in this arc. If he comes in, for me, this will be a great arc. So yeah, and so this has been a Goku of Light stream. I appreciate King Recon coming. Thank you. We didn't know you were going to come, and it's always great.
Thanks for having me, man.
Guests that haven't been here in a while. I haven't seen you in weeks, maybe months. We got Boris. Boris has been here since day one, since I got my channel going. The OG, pretty much the fucking senpai of One Piece. So, oh, he's blushing. All right, you guys have a good one. Let's go. Cool. Light signing out.